Welcome to TNT, everybody, and it is September 19th, 2023, and we are continuing our journey in Moving Your Invisible Boundaries by Dr. Jim Richards. So if you have not purchased the book, I highly recommend that you do it. This will be one of those books that you can read it multiple times and just be enriched more and more every time you go through it. In fact, tonight, what I want to start with, just as a point of review, I'm just going to start bringing up some things that we've already covered in the past. And I'm just going to read, this is chapter 3. The title of the chapter is Why You Do What You Do, and it's on page 31. It's the first paragraph of that chapter, and it says, living from the heart is living on automatic pilot. Based on your sense of self, your heart will always attempt to lead you in a direction that fulfills and expresses your identity. When I use the term identity, I am referring to your believed identity. Your believed identity is the identity or sense of self that you have developed over time. It is the result of the beliefs you have created because of your life experiences. It is your believed identity that your heart is always seeking to express and maintain. In Christ, there is a monumental gap between your true identity and your believed identity. In other words, your true identity as who you are in Christ, what he accomplished, his finished work at the cross. This contradiction is the source of every struggle in the life of a believer. In other words, whatever we are struggling with basically is our heart is not fully convinced of the finished work of Jesus that will cover that issue for us. You look at Paul, I'm just going to use an example. Peter, Paul, and Silas, when they were in prison, they were in absolute total peace. There was no emotional upset. Peter he went to sleep so soundly that the angel literally had to physically shake him awake. And Paul and Silas were just praising the Lord, totally calm. For all they knew, they were going to be put to death the next day. They didn't know, but their true identity was in Christ. They absolutely knew without a shadow of a doubt that every part of their being was completed in Christ. And so that's why they were able to be in such peace. Our identity, our believed identity, is what is formed in us when, through experiences, through things that people have said to us, through things that have happened to us, through things we have witnessed, experienced, whatever, and those things get imprinted on our heart, and our identity then gets formed around those experiences, and that can cause an identity that has lack of some kind, whatever. But our true identity is being in Jesus, and that Jesus raised from the dead. Hey, Julie. That Jesus raised from the dead, completely restored and whole. That is our true identity. And so when our believed identity doesn't match our true identity in Christ, that's where we have a struggle. The more when we can be convinced of get our believed identity to be our identity in Christ, there's no more struggle. We're at total peace, complete peace. We know that every need is met. There is no struggle. So anyway, that's what that paragraph is about. So I'm just going to bring up things like that as a review once in a while. Julie, I was just telling them, I just